This is Katya from Midwest Food Connection. I hope you're well during this time, that you're resting, drinking water, laughing, learning, growing, and helping your families and loved ones take care. One way I want you to take care today and this week, and as often as you can, is by eating nourishing foods. Fruits and vegetables are very nourishing for our bodies. Fruits are great snacks to eat on the go, while on a hike or at the park. Many fruits help our bodies to be healthy and feel energized. Today, I encourage you to eat some fruits and encourage you to encourage somebody else to eat some fruit too. Right now, I'm enjoying some blackberries. Did you know Minnesota is known for its berries? Can you name some berries we have here? Pause the video. Take a minute to think. How many berries can you think of? I'm going to write some down. I'll be back in a bit, and I'm going to check on your list. All these berries grow in Minnesota. Did any of these make it on your list? We have strawberries, Juneberries, blueberries too. These tasty berries are good for you. Our lesson today, however, is on global fruits, fruits from around the world. We are going to take a look at fruits that travel from all different places around the world and how they get here for us to try and love and taste. I'll share some stories with you and we'll visit 3 groups of fruits: Mediterranean fruits, tropical fruits, and new Asian fruits. Then we'll wrap up with an activity and tasting. I want to start with a strange fruit. An apple. I'm sure you've had an apple. You may be thinking, this certainly is not a strange fruit. Well, even apples were once strange new fruits here in North America. The British brought them over when they came here long ago. Seeds can travel and call new places home. Some fruits grow in different countries across oceans and come from far away to get to us. Let's take a look at these fruits and the places they like to grow. The first place we'll visit is the Mediterranean Sea. And if we look at a map, we can see places like Africa and parts of Europe and the Middle East are touching the Mediterranean Sea. I'll start with a more familiar fruit that grows in the Mediterranean, and that is an orange. Oranges love to grow by the Mediterranean Sea. Now, the next 2 fruits I'm going to show you, I haven't been able to find them fresh here in Minnesota, but I can find them, and I'll show you here today what they look like dried. Here are some dehydrated or dried out dates. Just like raisins, the water has been taken out. Kind of wrinkly like a raisin too. So in the center of the date, there is a seed. Or the pit. We must be careful when we eat it and eat around the seed. Sometimes we eat too much sugar. Especially here in America, it makes its way into a lot of our foods and drinks. Some people will make a natural sweetener with dates. They'll grind them up and add a little bit of water, turn it into a paste or a liquid. Think of honey or maple syrup are natural sweeteners too, and they're a little more healthy for our body. Here are some fresh dates growing on trees. As you can see, they belong in the palm tree family. The last fruit we'll look at from the Mediterranean are figs. So, like the dates, and think of raisins, they've been dried out and the water or the juice has been removed. This is the fig tree. It can grow fairly tall, and this tree is kind of unique. It can grow pretty wide too. See how wide this fig tree is? It's not a giant tree, but definitely a lot taller than me. Here's a fresh fig next to some dried ones, which you've already seen. We're going to look at the inside of a fig in just a little bit. But we are moving on to other fruits. in different places with different roots. The next foods we'll look at are tropical fruits, and they grow in tropical places like Central America, South America, Africa, and parts of Asia. Say hello to our tropical fruits. First, we'll be visiting the banana. Next, we'll take a look at pineapple, and then dragon fruit, tamarind, and the mango. This line that we see in a map is kind of in the middle of our Earth, and it has a special name. It's called the Equator. I'm sure you'll hear more about the equator as you learn and grow, but what I want you to know right now is the way that the Earth sits and the sun shines. This is the warmest place on Earth. And these tropical plants and fruits, that's where they like to grow. So let's take a look at them. Here we have a banana that's ripe and ready to eat. We eat a lot of bananas in Minnesota and North America. They don't grow here, but we can find them at most grocery stores. Sometimes I buy a bunch of bananas and they begin to brown before I can eat them all. But thankfully, I can use those brown bananas and bake a delicious and nutritious treat. Do you know what I'm thinking of? That's right, banana bread. So if you have some brown bananas around right now, that would be a great thing that you could do with your family. Here is a picture of a banana tree blossoming and fruiting. First come the flowers, and then the fruits. We know bananas grow in tropical places, and they travel a far way to get to us in Minnesota. As you can see in this picture, this man is carrying them, and he picked them off the tree while they're still green. That way, when they get to us, they're ripe and ready to eat. Let's see what other tropical fruits I have in my bag here. Well, we talked about bananas, and I showed you one. Here, I have two, or a bunch of bananas. And we have a pineapple. Did you know that pineapple actually grows on the ground? I want to show you a picture of one. It takes a pineapple 18 to 20 months. That's 1.5 years to 2 years before it's ready for us to eat the fruit. And when it's growing its fruit, the pineapple produces over 200 flowers. We also have dragon fruit. Now, we'll cut this open, and you can see on the inside the beautiful white flesh of the fruit with the black seeds. It really has a mild taste, not a lot of taste to it, but it's very refreshing. Did you know that the mango is the most popular fruit in the world? Even more popular than fruits like apples and bananas. For every banana that somebody eats, there are 3 people that are eating mangoes. And for every apple that's being eaten, there's 10 mangoes that are being eaten around the world. So it comes to a surprise to people like us in Minnesota, but mangoes are the most popular fruit that are being eaten all around the world. Now, we'll visit this mango in just a little bit, but we have some other fruits to look at first. The last tropical fruit that I have in my bag with me today are tamarind. Now, there's certain things we need to do in order to eat the tamarind. First, we have to crack the shell. And there are seeds inside. As you can see, each bump here, there is a seed. And what we do is we eat the fruit, is this jelly part that's hidden around the seed. So if I can get it here, I'll pull a seed out. So this gooey stuff is the part of the fruit that we eat. So I will remove this seed and go ahead and eat. Mmm. It tastes kind of like a raisin. Last, we have our new Asian fruits. We have a mandarin, a Sumo Orange, an Asian pear, and in the bowl here, some kumquats. A lot of the new Asian fruits that I'm sharing with you today are part of the citrus family. Oranges are part of the citrus family. And as we learned earlier, oranges grow by the Mediterranean Sea. These citrus fruits grow in places like China, Japan, and the Philippines. And we're doing some pretty interesting things with fruits. And they're making up things like this Sumo Orange. And it's super juicy and sweet. So you can see it's kind of got this knob on top. Looks a little different than oranges that we might be more familiar with. This is the Sumo Orange. And they crossed information from different seeds to come up with this new fruit that we didn't have before. We do that with other fruits too, like the mandarin quat, which comes from the mandarin and the kumquat. We'll taste these kumquats in just a minute. Finally, we have an Asian pear. It looks different than other pears that I've seen. It's rounder, and it's got thicker, tougher skin. It's more crunchy instead of soft and buttery when we bite into it. And we have to pick the Asian pear off the tree when it's ripe and ready to eat. I have one more Asian fruit I'd like to share with you, but we need to travel to a special place first. Well, here we are in my reading and crafting nook. This is where I make things and get crafty and where I keep some of my books. Do you have a special place in your house where you like to spend your time? How about a good place to curl up and read a book? Right now, I'm reading a book about crows. I hope you're reading some interesting books too. Oh yeah, that's right. I came here to share a story with you about another new Asian fruit. The kiwi, or once originally called the Chinese gooseberry, was first grown in China. The kiwi has been growing there for a very long time. Today we can find kiwis, or Chinese gooseberries, at pretty much any grocery store, but it wasn't always that way. We can thank a woman named Frida Kaplan for introducing them to us here in the United States. This woman, Frida Kaplan, worked for a grocery store, and it was her job to buy the foods they sold there. She liked to find new interesting foods grown from around the world. Frida Kaplan is responsible for introducing over 200 fruits and vegetables to our grocery stores, including mangoes, dragon fruit, and pineapple too. It just so happened there were farmers growing kiwi, or Chinese gooseberries, in a country called New Zealand. They shipped Chinese gooseberries across the ocean, and the fruit made its way to a market in California where Frida visited. Sure enough, she saw the Chinese gooseberries and was excited to bring them to the grocery store floors. Sadly, people at the stores did not take to them right away. The fruit was new and different and strange. People were not used to seeing brown, fuzzy fruit. They didn't know how to eat it and didn't know what a gooseberry was. Frida did not give up on the gooseberries because she knew people would like them if they only tried them. All they need was an open mind and some getting used to. Frida got on the phone with those farmers from New Zealand and suggested they change the name of the fruit. Kiwi is the name of a bird in New Zealand, and they also decided to share that name with this new Asian fruit. That's why we see them all around today, and how they got their name of the kiwi fruit. Are you ready for our tasting? I want to begin by reminding us of our rule to respect food. Everybody has different connections, experiences, relationships with food, and we really want to honor that. First, I'll sample the kumquat. Can you guess what it tastes like? The kumquat is very sour, as you were able to tell from my sour face. Look at these students trying kumquats for the first time. Their puckering faces are hilarious. Now we'll go through how to mindfully taste our food. First, take a bite of your fruit. I like to close my eyes because it helps me focus on the tasting. Next, think of words that describe what your food tastes like. I want you to use other words besides good or bad to describe your tastings, because that doesn't help us learn about what the food tastes like, only what it tastes like to you. Pretend you're describing the food to a friend who's never tried it before. What does it look like? What color or shape? What does it taste like? Is it sweet, sour, bitter, savory, or salty? And what does it feel like? Or what is the texture of the food like? Is it crunchy, crispy, soft, or sticky? Slow down to savor the flavor and experience your foods. This ripe mango is green, red, yellow, and orange on the outside, and the fruit on the inside is golden yellow. It's juicy, soft, and sweet. The dried fig is also sweet, chewy, and filled with crunchy seeds. Now it's your turn. Do you have any fruit at your home? Maybe some apples, bananas, oranges, or berries? Find out where they grow and see if you can come up with some good describing words for what they taste like. Take care and enjoy some new and familiar fruits.